Hey guys, what's up? Veetus here. Breaking news today. Avalonian weapons reveal. Yeah, let's check that out, shall we? So I'm just gonna jump right into it and go. I have had to ignore so many Discord messages and everything, Reddit, whatever, to avoid like seeing this without having my reaction be right here, right now, with all of this. So let's just jump in, okay? Here we go. So excited. The big reveal.
Hello and welcome to another Albion Online Dev Talk. Today I'm excited to talk to you about the new upcoming Avalonian weapons. So this is gonna be a major combat extension, the biggest one we had since the introduction of the artifact level 3 weapons. And we have 50 new weapons, each with a new cool ability and new mechanics, and 3 new offhand on top of that. So there is 1 new weapon per weapon tree. That means 1 new mace, 1 new spear, and so on. And also we have 1 offhand per weapon branch. So 1 hunter offhand, 1 mage offhand, and 1 warrior offhand. All of these new items are available from T4 onwards up to Tier 8. And each of these items has a unique look and a unique model. And this means there's 19 new awesome looking models in the game coming. And let's directly dive into some of the abilities of these new items. The first one I want to talk about is the Lucent Hawk. This is
Lucent Hawk, did he say?
the Avalonian bow. Upon activation, you go in this turret style mode where you can become a sniper that can keep shooting skilled shots as long as the buff is active. And the cool thing is you can aim each shot individually. They each have its own cast, and it's a long range, high damaging skilled shot. And it's really nice to snipe enemies from the back row. But if you overcommit and go too deep into the enemy lines, they can easily interrupt you, and then you waste all your ammunition. And there's a nice risk versus reward in the skill involved.
Wait, so, okay. I'm really curious on the range of that, because it looks like they were almost off the screen, like the players that they were attacking. So that's interesting. But yeah, the range on that could make that a very interesting weapon. Let's continue.
Then we also have a new Avalonian sword. It's a big two-hander called the Kingmaker.
The Kingmaker.
Its ability allows you to swing the blade around you in a circle, knocking up all the enemies into the air. And while these enemies are still in the air, you're then slamming your weapon down in a vertical line, hitting behind you and in front of you. So not only is this an AoE interrupt, but it is a high damaging ability at the end where it's really mattering where you position yourselves and how you rotate yourself to make really the most out of it and hit.
It sounds like Adjudicator boots mix with a Clarent blade. Like it's like a interrupt, knock up into an AoE cleave. It's pretty sweet. That's pretty nice. I like it.
Multiple targets at once. Next, we have the Avalonian Curse Staff.
Low-key very hyped for a curse staff. Just because. Let's just find out. Please be something that I hope I'm wishing for. You guys are all probably wishing for it too. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's something that a lot of people have been wanting for a long time. Summoning staff. Or summoning ability of some kind. Maybe necromancery, something like that. I don't know. Let's see.
It has the ability called Inner Shadow. You can cast it on any player, ally or enemy, and you summon a shadow.
Summon? Go on.
Of that player, depending on the type of armor that player wears. So how does it work? So say you cast it on an enemy with a cloth armor. You then summon this Avalonian mage who attacks with this huge thunderstorm, dealing massive magic damage. And you can also instead cast it on a leather armor user. If you do that, then you summon a different shadow, which does a lifesteal aura, attacking enemies and also healing up the caster himself.
Not what I was thinking, but it's definitely pretty interesting. I like it, and I like the shot. I think it looks pretty cool. I think it's a cool looking ability. But yeah, wow, it's got like 2 different uses to it too, which makes it even more interesting. Cool. All right, let's see what else.
Or you simply can cast it on a plate wearer. And if you cast on someone with plate armor, you summon this tank shadow who slows enemies around him, and after a short delay, slams down his big weapon and nullifies most of the enemy's armor. There's a huge armor shred on that ability. And the cool part is, the shadow you summon depends on the target you pick on, not on the armor you have equipped. So the cool part about this is that even if you wear cloth armor, you have access to all of the shadows in one fight, depending on what target you cast it on.
That is actually really cool. I can dig that because it's like dynamic, right? It's not just the same thing every time. Kind of depends on whoever is wearing whatever armor. So I like that. That's cool.
There's a lot of skill expression with this ability and a lot of knowledge how you can make the best out of these shadows you have available. And then we also have the Avalonian spear, which is a one-handed lance. This has an ability where you can charge into enemy lines, and after a short cast time, you charge in and become unstoppable during this charge, meaning no CC or anything can interrupt you, you just charge through. And additionally, any enemy you hit, you will purge their buffs. So you can use it either offensively to like try to secure a kill and remove the defensives of that target, or you can also use it to initiate a counter engage to remove the momentum from the enemies, removing their active buffs when they try to commit to your side. So there's a lot of versatility in this ability, and that makes a big difference how you use it.
Wow, a purge and a pretty, looks like, I'm assuming it's going to be a strong attack as well. That's a pretty nice combo. I don't think we've seen that before, really. So yeah, cool.
And another cool thing about it, the lance is a one-handed weapon, so that means you can combine it with various offhand combinations. In general, 1/3 of the Avalonian weapons are one-handed to allow for more interesting combinations with offense, even on the high-end artifact items. The Avalonian nature staff gets an ability called Soul Link, where you can link 2 targets together, and depending on what kinds of target you choose, you get a different effect. So what does that mean? That means that if you target 2 allies, then this means they get an effect where all the damage they receive is shared evenly across both targets. And on top of that, all healing they received is also shared evenly and also amplified a bit. So if you have hot active on both targets, then both heal each other and it's even amplified, so you have a higher healing output.
That sounds really cool. I'm not a nature player or anything, but that sounds like really unique, I guess, right? Like, I would have never have guessed that was going to be the nature ability for this new Avalonian weapon. That's cool. I dig it.
Or if you cast it on an enemy and an ally, then in this case, the healing received for the enemy, a chunk of that is always stolen and directly transferred to the ally. So you can absorb some of the healing this enemy receives and heal up your own ally. Then the last combination is if you cast it on 2 enemies. In this case, they also share the damage received, but also the damage is amplified. So you can use it offensively when you try to break through the enemy defenses. You can cast it on a cloth user and a tank. And then even if you attack the tank, then a lot of the damage is sent over to the cloth user as well. So there's a lot of ways how to use this ability. We imagine it's going to be more relevant in small scale, but we're really excited and would like to see how you guys can make the best out of it.
I really do feel like they made that with the intention of having it be small scale, which is great. Don't know how that's going to play out, but that's a pretty cool way to design a end game style weapon, in my opinion. Let's see what else.
But keep in mind with all these abilities we've shown you today, they're still in testing and production, so some of the final behavior might be different when they hit the live server. But I think we can give you in general a good idea what direction we are going in and what of the kind of cool mechanics we are right now testing and what you can expect from the next update. But let's talk about how you can obtain these new items in the game.
Wait, are they not going to show the rest? I'm sad right now. I want to see the rest. Okay, we'll watch the rest of the video, but holy crap.
Are pretty similar to the Avalonian armors in terms of crafting. So there is Avalonian new artifacts that you need to craft them, and these artifacts can be obtained from Avalonians, and they can also be created from Avalonian shards. However, with our new update, Rise of Avalon, we also will increase the amount of Avalonian shards in the world to make these weapons not too rare and to have more players use them. And on top of that, as a side note, you also can obtain Avalonian shards in the new Roads of Avalon, where you also can fight Avalonians, and there's a nice incentive to explore these roads and also have the chance to get the ingredients for the new Avalonian weapons in there. So the crafting side is rather straightforward with these weapons.
Yo, look at that chest!
But we are also planning to make a big change for the Destiny board for the first time. So far, all the combat specializations for artifacts have been always concentrated into one node. So for example, swords have one node that's called a sword artifact specialization. And whenever you use any artifact, you level up these nodes. With the next update, we want to split this one node into one node per weapon. So this means there's a node for Clarent Blade, one node for Carving Sword, and one node for Galatine Pair. So don't worry, you keep your progress. So all the progress you had for the combined artifact node is taken out and divided evenly across the new nodes. So
Whoa. Whoa.
So, for instance, and because these combined nodes had 3 times the fame requirements, this means if you had your artifact specialization for swords on level 100, this means that on the next content update you will have Clarent Blade, Carving Sword, and Galatine Pair also on level 100. You will also get a new node for specializations, that's for the Avalonian weapon called the Kingmaker. This one will be at 0 because it's new and you have to level it from the scratch. We are also releasing a bunch of combat balance changes. So one change we have been hinting at the past is there's already this new Arcane Staff W spell called Mimic. So the way it works is you can cast it on any player, and depending on the weapon type he has, you get a different ability. Say you see anyone with a Fire Staff, independent of what W spell this player has selected, when you cast it on him, you know on a Fire Staff you always get the Firewall.
That's pretty cool.
And then you can use a Firewall. Or if you see someone with an Holy Staff, you know you always get an Holy Orb. So it's independent of what the player has actually equipped to make it easier to use and more reliable on what what spells you can get with it.
That is actually a good change. I think before they had certain abilities that were assigned to that could be stolen, but now it's just whatever ability that player has, it sounds like, which is a lot better. That's pretty sweet.
And another big focus for this balance patch will be the 1v1 meta, where we are making various adjustments to make sure that 1v1 meta is in a more healthy state because it had a bit of a backseat so far. So the typical contenders are like solo healers shouldn't be as sustainable as they are right now. We are also looking at warbow kiting, how strong is it, we're probably reducing it a bit, and also some outlier items, like for instance Cultist Rope, we are also looking at it to make it less of a hard counter to certain builds. In general, we want to reduce hard counters and have more soft counters to have it less rock, paper, scissors, especially in a 1v1 meta. And the reason why we are having a look at the 1v1 meta for the next update is, of course, our next also big content update has another feature called the Corrupted Dungeons, where you can go in and fight other players, and the PvP scenarios are always max 1v1. But we will go into more detail in another dev talk. So for this dev talk, just know that we are already looking also at the meta adjustments to make this feature really shine at the best it can. That's all for today. Thanks a lot for tuning in, and I hope to see you guys in another Albion Online Dev Talk.
My heart's a little broken that we didn't get all the weapons, but we got a nice preview and chunk of some of them, so that's great. But yeah, we definitely didn't get all of them. But hey, yo, guys, Listen, we got the Lucent Hawk, the Majestic Smash, the Inner Shadow, the Line Breaker, and the Soul Link. All new abilities coming with all new weapons. That's exciting. I want to see the rest really badly. Was really sad I didn't get to see Axe. Super curious what they're going to do with that. Obviously, because I'm a 400 Axe player. But I'm most excited for the Cursed, the Inner Shadow. The fact that it's got 3 different like outcomes on terms of how you know, where it's cast depends on how it reacts or how it operates, I think is super cool, and I love that. So yeah, I'm excited, guys. Good stuff here. Destiny board changes, yo. Roads of Avalon coming, weapons coming. I'm excited. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Be sure to like and subscribe if you like this content. And yeah, thanks for stopping by. See ya.